Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today to talk about Mortal Kombat. There's been an awful lot actually revealed, major set visits, lots and lots to go into. I think I have about 5 articles to cover. So rather than sit there and do, a long video, I thought, look, why not? Why don't we all just sit here and enjoy it together? So that is tonight's or today's episode of the Round Table. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I was going to call it, I was going to abbreviate it to TRT Live. But then just something just triggered me. And I thought, I think YouTube will have a shit fit about that. So I've just put it down as the RT Live. So that's what we're covering today. I'm joined by my esteemed plebe, Ellie Moses. How you doing, good sir?
I'm doing well. Just got back from my run, just in time for the stream. But we make it. We make time. And hail to everyone in the chat, and hail to H and Jasper. Even though
Jasper's actually upstairs at the moment.
Oh.
He's decided he does not want to grace us with his presence. But that's what we're covering today. Mortal Kombat. What did you think of the trailer first and foremost?
Oh, I thought the trailer looked. I think it didn't deserve to be as good as it did. I think it surprised a lot of people, including myself. I'm excited to see it. Similar to GVK in terms of the trailers, it surprised a lot of people. And I think Mortal Kombat held its own as a trailer. And I was excited with a lot of the CGI and practical effects. I liked a lot of the sets. And they did a good job at establishing a Mortal Kombat world, because a lot of sometimes video games don't feel like that video game world. And I think they've done a great job of establishing this Mortal Kombat world. And I think some of the production design is fantastic as well. They used a lot of great locations, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I'm hoping to see it in the theater when it comes out.
Well, you lucky SOB theaters. God, I remember them. For those that don't know, ladies and gents, the UK has been on lockdown for about a year. Briefly opened up, so I was able to watch some movies in the theaters. But yeah, no, we are locked down. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's just Mortal Kombat. There's been a lot revealed from the set visits. I love the trailer. I did an epic 2+ hour stream breaking down and discussing the trailer. But yeah, so we're literally just here to talk about these set visits, basically, guys. If you have anything that you want covered straight away, or you just want to support the channel, you can do so with super chats. So any comments and things like that will be pulled up, and we'll address them and things like that. It's also just a really good way of supporting the channel, because YouTube is it's a bit balls at the moment. So first one that I have is it's actually a Joe Blow set visit. Now, it was this one the set visit, or was this just the interview? No, so this one was just an interview. So this one's an interview. A lot of people are like, I think a lot of people will realize come the end of this stream that the director and the producer genuinely seem to give a shit, which is nice. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this film. And at the end of the day, but people are paid to look like they care anyway. So we'll just have to see. So we'll see how it goes. But I don't know if we can zoom in anymore. There we go. Zoomed in a little bit more. So first things first, not too much. This is all just scope. This is like, oh, I did this and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. No one cares, mate. No one cares. But the important one here is like Lewis Tan's Cole Young. A lot of people have an issue with this. And I get that. We want to see, I get it, right? I get it. We want Johnny Cage. I get it. But Cole Young, how they're framing him, at least in this interview, is more like a throwaway narrator character, which I don't think is too bad.
He's sort of like our point of view, I'm guessing, like the audience character.
Wait.
Oh, okay.
We'll get into it because it's in the interview, you see.
We'll
discuss the interview, and then we'll discuss it together.
Let's go.
So look, on the importance of Lewis Tan's Cole Young and how his character serves a specific function for audiences watching Mortal Kombat. He's our introduction to the world of Mortal Kombat. He's our narrator. Along that same line, Cole allows us to cut down on formal introductions and mini origin stories. because a lot of people watching this movie, like, they're not going to have a clue about Mortal Kombat, I don't think. And having this kind of point of view character, our sort of narrator, someone to explore the world through, is probably a better use of a new character's time than Cage, I would say. Like, would you agree with that? Would you rather, like, bring in, you know, Johnny Cage and then have a character that is a bit useless because he's just been a narrator?
Mortal Kombat fans, they're gonna know who Johnny Cage is, but if you're trying to get like a wider audience, then they can follow the story better through Cole.
Yeah, I think so. But also, I think Mortal Kombat fans will be happier because he's not. He's as important as a narrator and a point of view character is, but he's not.
But
he's not like a throwaway character at this point.
It's not like the trailer,
but they're not throwing away a character.
Yeah, it's not like the trailer said, "Oh, it's only Cole alone." Like, they're still paying respect to all the other characters. They showcased a lot of the other stuff as well. It's not like it's just going to be Cole focused. I'm sure they're going to respect and pay him, like, definitely include all the other characters as well. It's not just going to be a Cole fest. I'm guessing, like, it's not just.
Well, I mean, he's our point of view character, so it will be, because that's what point of view characters do. Like, they are the ones we follow the most. But I would rather them do that than have a character that potentially you're not going to see much risk for, because they're bringing in an established character. You're probably going to think, well, they're definitely going to live then, aren't they? At least with this Cole Young character, there's some risk there. He might die. Chances are he probably won't, but he might die, which is always good, I think. We've got our first super chat of the evening from Martin Stallard. Any idea why Johnny Cage isn't in the movie? Well, I mean, we're sort of covering it now, to be honest, my dude. I think it's... we'll see whether they reveal any more specifically as to why. But they had planned sequels. So I think having someone as just a normal, you know, a new character here and then exploring the world there, and then maybe having someone further down the line, because they touch on other characters that they want to bring in and why they weren't in this one. So we'll see. But I think it's mainly just because they wanted to have...
I was about to say that maybe they're saving Johnny Cage like as a card up their sleeve for a sequel, or maybe potential end credit scene as well. You never know what they're going to do. Yeah.
So the interview continues and says, with Cole, you're meeting characters in real time. The story can be more fluid. It has to be, because a movie is completely different than a video game. It's a matter of structure and time. The game has so much more time on us. You can't expect us to be caught up with the lore of the game from the start. It's impossible, which is true. Like, that is a perfectly reasonable statement to make. We made a conscious decision to make a classic movie that can set up the world for everybody. So I don't hate these answers. We're like, you'll see, I think, ladies and gents, as we explore all of this, you'll see that by and large, a lot of this stuff you're going to look at and go, oh yeah, it's fine. Like, they seem quite personable and they seem like they care, which is always nice. But again, well, you can either agree or disagree. And also there's some like talk of people doing their own stunts as well, which was quite interesting. Yeah, see, on every member of the main cast doing their stunts. That's impressive. Like, when has there been a film when every one of the main cast has done their stunts? I'm sure there's been quite a few. Yeah. Like, I'm sure, but I'm still pretty impressed by that.
Definitely, definitely Joe Taslim would have done his own stunts if you've seen The Raid. Like, that guy's awesome. Like, choreographer, like fight artist. Like, I'm guessing. Even
we're talking every single member of the main cast.
That's really good. That's actually really great. That's a rarity in Hollywood. Usually stunt doubles come in, but all of them learning, which means they're probably dedicated to their role as well. Which means they did a lot of training outside as well, because obviously you have to choreograph the fights. You can't just go in not knowing anything. So it shows that they're all dedicated to play their roles as well, which seems that the whole cast was on board and probably had good camaraderie behind the scenes, and that hopefully will reflect on screen then.
Oh, well, God, I hope so. One can hope. But they elaborate. So they say, these guys are the best at what they do. When you meet Lewis, I guarantee that within 12 seconds, he'll say that he's not letting us do anything. He's done every piece of fighting choreography they all have. Some fights require 50 to 60 beats of fight choreography, and they just do it. Plus, they're really hitting each other. It's no joke. You've got movies like Deadpool that are doing things like that. but not on this scale. So again, like, I mean, they are martial artists, aren't they? And that's good. Like I've really missed just like martial arts, like fighting films.
You can even see in the trailer, Cole's character in one of the MMA scenes when he's training, I guess, in the cage, he completely kicks the crap out of someone as well. Like the kick legit connected. Whereas some films are trying to hide that with a quick cut or edit. This one completely showed it. So
Clarence Knight raises a valid point. Says, wasn't the actor who was Kano in the original movie British with a Cockney accent? Yes, but I believe there was someone who was Australian that died pertaining to Mortal Kombat. I think, was it the original voice actor or someone like that? I can't remember exactly who it was, but that was the reasoning as to why. Oh, from what I read, anyway. I that's from what I know, anyway. I could be wrong, like I could be misquoting that, so don't quote me on that. I'll await further details. So on the casting stuff, so casting was extremely important. Not only did we want to be true to who the characters are culturally, but we also needed people who could fight and act. We got very lucky in that every single person we went after said yes, like Joe Taslim. He was the first one, and he was the key. And that's normally what they do on these kind of productions. They will go after someone that they deem their star, right? That's their star. That's their call to the studio to say, hey, look, we've got this star now. Can we green light it? And also to other actors as well. Hey, look, you're going to be alongside this dude. So it's good that Joe's getting that recognition more and more. Because obviously he has recognition, but getting it more and more is obviously really, really good. We asked him if he wanted to be Sub-Zero, and he said yes immediately. Once other people started signing on, we had to ask, how do we move all of them around? How do you make sure they all have an opportunity to be their best, but also have a character that's worthy of Mortal Kombat? So expanding the scope of the film and learning from the Marvel method of world building. Now that might put a lot of people off, but it's still something to consider, isn't it? Like I mean, what do you think of Marvel on a whole? You're a big Marvel fan. I can see.
I'm a big Marvel fan, but I'm not. I do pick out their flaws. Like, I'm not going to lie. They're not invincible films, as like some fanboys would say. There's definitely a lot of flaws within the universe, but within Marvel, across the 10 years, you can't fault that they did build a world that was believable and they introduced the characters properly. So I think it's a good standing point with Marvel. Definitely way better than Star Wars on the Disney side with the way they did their world building. They took their time with it. They thought it out, well planned. And even in WandaVision lately, like there was callbacks to even Doctor Strange and how that connects with Doctor Strange. So they've planned it out really well. So it's a good basis, Marvel. You cannot, like, even if you're not a fan of the films, you can't deny that they didn't build the world properly and think this well through. Even with the scenes tying in.
The world building is definitely good. And that's what they go on to here. So they say, once we brought James Wan and Greg Russo onto the film, we thought, how can we blow this out? It can't just be a bunch of characters in an apartment building kicking the shit out of each other. We thought, what would Marvel do? How were the Avengers assembled? You start with one guy who is a point of access, you know, Iron Man. You don't just start with the Avengers. We started neutral with Cole and then set up a canvas where we can meet all the characters that people love. You're never going to get everybody's favorite character, but we tried to get the right characters for this movie. So I guess that's kind of addressing the Cage situation. Yeah, I'd say that's kind of addressing.
They're making fair points here. Like,
well, I mean, look, if you ever speak to any filmmaker, like, people aren't dumb. They're aware of what's shit about their films. And they're also, you know, well, they are. Like, most people are like, yeah, no, this is garbage. I would definitely change that if I could. Most people are anyway. And, you know, a lot of what they're saying here, if you ever speak to filmmakers, a lot of the stuff that they've had to do is all justified. So, like, they clearly have their justification here, and it's good, but it's well articulated, which I think is really, really decent. Now, it goes on further and says, on the problem with recreating fatalities, certain featured in the video games for the film. This is the stuff everyone wants to hear. Fatalities. This is the real meat of the stream. The problem with the fatalities in general is that MPAA is very different from the ESRB. In the game, They're all CGI characters. They're not real. This allows the game makers to raise the bar of the violence. Right. I'm under the restrictions of the Motion Picture Association of America. I have to live inside those rules. We're going to do as much as we can. I can promise you that. So anything that's holding it back will be because of the MPAA and what they're able to do, which I think is, yeah, I think that's. But also, like, what we saw in the trailer is pretty damn good, isn't it? Like,
it's really good. Like even
in terms of the gore and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the heart. Yeah.
But like, I've seen films across the years that have been really, really violent. Like, for instance, Rambo: Last Blood was really violent. That like last 15, 20 minutes. So if that can pass, and that wasn't even R-rated here in Australia, that was MA, I believe. So if that can pass, like, I'm sure they're gonna be able to do more with this one.
Well, yeah, hopefully. And then this will be music to everyone's ears and you, Ellie, on prioritizing practical effects over digital.
Let's go.
Rejoice. Rejoice. I'm allowed.
Oh my lord.
Practical effects. Now, Ellie, you've got to commit. You've got to commit to it. That's half-assed. I'm allowed.
Oh my lord.
Better.
I'll get better. I say it better in typing. It's better in typing. It sounds better in typing.
Oh dear. So practical effects, ladies and gents. It's so easy to fall back on special effects. I think every movie uses special effects to some point, but Simon has wanted to go as practical as possible. We've got the least amount of blue screen that I've ever encountered. Simon pushes it to a point where if it doesn't work, then we'll go to digital effects. That's what it should be.
I'm a massive fan of that. That is so amazing.
Yeah, if you can do it with practical effects, then you should.
If you can do it, yes.
Then you do it with digital. And I think that's perfectly reasonable.
But if you do it with digital, you have to do it right as well and make sure you have the capabilities to do it right. Like, for instance, this is a segue. One Division's last finale episode yesterday, the green screen was terrible. That's all I'm saying. Like,
oh, is it?
Like,
I don't watch it.
Yeah, I know. For the budget they have, but you could see.
Yeah, like 20 odd million.
It was so obvious, and it was poor. Like, I'm gonna be straight up honest. It was really poor, but like,
you're gonna be upsetting people now.
This is Marvel and Disney as well. You got unlimited budget, but prioritizing digital, practical over digital is always fantastic to hear. And even with the ice effect as well, you can tell part of that was practical as well. Like, that was actual like production design, like ice, like the way they did it. Like, part of the shot was actually real. So
yeah, well, I mean, we've seen from the behind the scenes pictures is that they iced out the whole gym. Like it's a fully practical set.
One of the fights in the trailer. One of the fights in the trailer.
Yeah. They really nailed it. So they use an example here, ladies and gents. In Raiden's temple, there's a hallway called Living Mirrors. It serves as a tale of past battles. That sounds badass, to be perfectly honest. And doesn't that seem like if it's a hallway called the Living Mirrors, doesn't that seem like the sort of glass ice depiction of that the original Mortal Kombat in the trailer? I can't pull up an image. I don't have one. People in the chat, you'll know what I'm referencing here. Hopefully, anyway. Now, in the script, the mirrors were an animated hologram. Then Simon asked, what would it be if it wasn't? The production designer then came up with a series of glass panels. It is! And they were painted. Yes! That's cool. Let me see if anyone in the chat actually knows what I'm talking about now. Let me try and get that fucking image up. Do people know what I'm talking about? Ladies and gents in the chat, can you confirm? Confirm or deny? Do you know what I'm referencing here? It's in the trailer, basically. Let me see it. Oh, it's so cool. Let me. I thought it was something like It looked like ice, so now they're saying it's glass. That's cool.
It's funny how in the script it was an animated hologram, and then they asked the director, and he's like, "What if it wasn't?" And like production designer, like they came up with glass panels. They're like, "We can do this without animated."
I like that. I'm just pulling up some images now. We've also got a new image of Shang Tsung as well, which I'm gonna just save for you, ladies and gents. So, I'm searching desperately to show you all of this stuff because I think you'll very much enjoy it. Entertain them, Ellie.
Get over here.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh man, I can't do anything.
Here we go. I found it.
Done.
This isn't going to be worth it, by the way, ladies and gents. Like, this is not going to be worth it.
Did you find the image of the glass panels in the trailer?
I found the image of the glass panels, yeah. It's worth it to me, because now I can say, look, I'm not a fucking idiot. There you go. There's the glass panel. Showing past battles. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
So this is in Raiden's temple. This is the hallway of living mirrors. That is badass. So this is all the past battles. Yes, super cool. That is rad. And that's all, going to be practical. And then we've got this new image of Shang Tsung.
And that's Raiden there, I'm guessing?
Yeah, maybe. I think so. Yeah, that's in the gym. Yeah. That's the other angle in the gym, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
From when they walk up to one another. Again, badass. Right, anyway, ladies and gents, we'll get back to it now. When you go across them with the camera, it looks like a special effect. It's completely practical, and we would not have normally gone there, but Simon said, let's do it. I love prosthetics and practical effects. They're just fun. Digital blood spurt is not a practical thing. No, true, but there is a lot, FYI, they're talking this up, but there's a lot of digital blood in that trailer.
Yes.
For sure, there's a lot of digital blood there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I still think that's bloody cool. I think that's rad. On upgrading character fighting styles for the film. So obviously fighting game transfer into a live action. Absolutely, it's a challenge. All I do is action movies. The audience gets more and more sophisticated every time, so you're constantly trying to update. Our fight team's great. Having people like Joe and Ludi Lin, they are as fanatic about the action as they are about their characters. One of the hardest things to do in action is to have a narrative, which is true. Like, it goes back to what I was saying when I first saw the trailer. I was like, it'd just be good to have an action film that actually has a story this time. There's so many B movies that are just like, they have like, martial arts and there's loads of action, but it's just crap. Like, it's just garbage. The story's garbage, and you can't really appreciate the fighting that much because it just all looks like garbage as a result.
Yeah.
So it's good that they acknowledge you have to have a narrative as well, and a narrative with respect to the fighting, which is really, really cool. What's this? Sent you a couple versus images between Mortal Kombat 11 and Mortal Kombat 2021 on IG. I'll have to have a look at that. I don't have my IG linked. My IG. I don't have my Instagram linked to my browser, so I'll have to check that out in a second. But thank you so much. I will check it out. So when I started with Simon, I said, Simon, in each of the fights, come with a point of view and a narrative, because that's going to make for a much more dynamic fight. We only have something like 13 or 16 fights in this movie. We did an action graph so that we could see what's going on. What's the intensity? We wanted to make sure that the action never flatlines. 13 to 16 fights in a sub-2-hour movie is a lot. That's a lot of fights,
depending on the length of them, but that's still a lot of fights.
That's a lot. That's good, though.
That's a lot.
That's good, I think.
I think you can't complain about that.
Well, we're only going to get bloody 3 fights or 4 fights in Godzilla versus Kong.
Yes, and this one,
which we're not going to get into spoilers,
no,
but that's apparently what we're getting anyway.
Yeah,
this is bloody 16 fights. Yes,
13 to 16 fights, and that's probably including, like, they're gonna probably, some of them will probably be lengthy as well, and that's including like the final third act as well. So you're gonna see a lot of character interaction. So
a lot of people dying.
That's a lot of fatalities. That's at least guaranteed 13 fatalities.
Yeah, very true. It says shortly after blah 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 blah. So we got this is an interview with Simon now, because that was an interview with the producer. So this is all directly from Simon. Now, he touches on the Mortal Kombat theme and things like that, the music and stuff, and it's fine. But the main take home from this is the kind of respect for fans. So he says, one of the things we've been talking about throughout development is respect. Respect for the fans, respect for the characters, and respect for the canon of the game. The execution ultimately considers that as the absolute bedrock. Look, coming from the world of bloody Star Wars at the moment,
that's a pretty good foundation to.
That's pretty good to hear, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
We respect the fans, we respect the characters, and we respect the canon. That, like, most people are like, yeah, canon, whatever. Don't you worry about it. No worries, mate. Just put it in the trash, in the bin. We've got news stories now.
Video game,
like, that's quite nice to hear.
Especially with a video game film, you don't want to disappoint the fans because you're treading on fine waters making a video game film.
Video game films are like, yeah.
Like, I remember Sonic, even the design, like, that's just the one example of just like treading on fine waters, changing one little thing, and then you saw the uproar, and then I guess they showed respect to the fans and canon there as well, with the character, respecting the character as well, going back and changing it, and ultimately it came at a cost with the delay of the film, but it showed they actually cared. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Ladies and gents, we've got 300 people watching. Smash the thumbs up button. For those that joined late, just letting you all know, we're just going to be breaking down and discussing the Mortal Kombat set visits, interviews, all the big major reveals. If you want to ask a question, or you want a point to be raised and covered, or you just want to support the channel, there is super chat function enabled. So please do that. But I will be, I sort of read a little bit, talk a little bit, look at the chat a little bit. So please, talk, build the community a little bit, talk to one another. The chat's really, really good here, actually. So yeah, but that's good. Like, the respect for the fans is the best possible part there. So good. Now, so he, Wolfish, came in knowing that he said, do you think there's anything we can do with the distinct music? And I said, yeah. What you're doing is taking well-known material and we're elevating it. We're taking it very seriously, though that doesn't mean that there's not comedy and levity throughout the film. We're taking it seriously and making sure that everything is thought through. He said, well, I've done a demo track. Do you want to hear it? And in that meeting, I sort of fell off my chair and then got back on and said, yes, I want to hear it. He played it for me, and I literally had sweat on my phone. It was incredible. And so this piece of music made my life so much easier. When talking with actors, I didn't have to pitch them so hard because I had this piece of music for them, and they knew exactly what kind of movie we were making. How cool is that? Also sounds like the actors recognize the music. That's badass. That's so cool. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. That's really cool to hear. I like that very much. So, on respecting the characters of Mortal Kombat, ladies and gentlemen. So what's this in the chat? Grin, Akuma. I feel a lot of care for source material here. It does seem it. Cole Young is going to Satoshi, ain't he? I don't mind it, honestly. Just hope the movie does well. I don't know what. I'm confused by that. Sonic proved a fun film. Glad to. Yeah, I was able to watch that in the cinema as well, and it was good fun. It was just dumb, fun, good message, good morals. Just a nice film, really.
Harmless film. It was just a fine watch, I guess.
Hey,
a fine watch. It was a harmless film. There was nothing.
Yeah, it didn't need to be anything, did it? It was just hey, look, this is Sonic. Yay!
And look, it's got a sequel now because of how well it did.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on. It says Mortal Kombat for me is widely popular because of the characters. The characters are ultimately the engine of this title. There's the canon, or the backstory, or the detail. Every character has had enormous layers of backstory added to them, but really, when I talk about respect to the characters, I'm also talking about respect to the fans. How they, the characters, get presented, brought to the fans, and also to the new audience, because they're fantastic characters, and I wanted to pay them the respect and bring them to a place that feels like we give a shit and that they're elevated and we can get sort of excited by Sub-Zero. Joe Taslim manifesting Sub-Zero is a pretty exciting thing to see. That gets you a bit hyped, doesn't it? That's nice to hear.
We give a shit, you know.
but it's good, isn't it? Like, it's clearly acknowledging the fact that most people assume like they don't give a flying toss about any of that kind of stuff. So it
sounds like he was excited making it as well. Like, he was really enjoying the actors portray these characters as well. Like, it sounds like it was a really good set experience.
It seems like everyone's had sort of fun,
which is good to hear within film always.
Yeah, not too much fun though. But there's always concern when it's too much fun, I think, sometimes. Because then you're like, are they messing around too much or anything like that? Now it says, on the most joyous aspect of getting to make Mortal Kombat and how Kano provides some much needed levity for the film. So those asking about Kano, here's some explanation, I guess, to a certain degree anyway. Everything needs to feel authentic and real. A lot of the stuff we're doing is in camera. It's not people running around in a parking lot with a big blue screen behind them. We're shooting tons of stuff on location, and a lot of the stuff is in camera. A lot of the fights are in camera, and we just enhance them. There's a connective tissue between the audience and what they're seeing. It doesn't feel like there's that veneer of special effects over everything. That, for me, is ultimate fantasy of science fiction film, is when you believe. And the way you believe is to make these very authentic scenes and characters and things that have a great heart to them. And that's what's been the most joyous experience for me in bringing this to life, is to breathe life into these characters. There's a lot of comedy, a lot of laughs. Kano provides an enormous amount of comedy within. He helps undercut the canon of Mortal Kombat concerning the Elder Gods. There's lots of dialogue that talks about that stuff. So it's nice to have Kano come in and make sure that we're not taking ourselves too seriously. And that's good. That, like, hanging a lantern on some of the stuff that feels a bit dumb to a main audience that's not a huge Mortal Kombat fan is actually a really good idea. Like, that's a really, really good idea. But I stop and we ask you, ladies and gents, do you think that's a good idea or not? Hanging a lantern on stuff that could be deemed a little bit dumb. What do you think? Ladies and gents of the chat, let me know. Let me know what you think.
Of course, Kano is going to provide most of the comedy.
Well, he's an Aussie, you know.
The Aussie.
You guys are the butt of all jokes. You see, this is you're not. That's a joke.
Nah,
don't hate.
I'm not going to cancel you. It's all right.
Okay, cheers. Anti-Aussie.
You fucking beauty.
Oh dear. Lots, but yeah. I think we've got a bit of a lag on this, unfortunately. Orange Hat Review says it's called finding the right balance. By doing this, you keep fans still invested and casuals interested. Exactly. Absolutely. Marshmallow, plebe lives matter. Hail. They do matter. Absolutely hail. It's good to make fun of yourself when the lore can be a bit wonky. Mortal Kombat 9 to 11, the timeline gets effed. Good. So, people seem interested in that. What was this? I always thought Kano was kind of an anti-hero Venom type. There is some like rumors about stuff like that. So, don't worry. Wait. On his personal history and connection to Mortal Kombat. So, a lot of people are like, who's the director? What's he got to do with Mortal Kombat in general? Let's have a look, shall we? I played it when I was younger, when it first came out. I wouldn't have called myself a rabid fan of it. I feel like I've gone back to Mortal Kombat University in the development process. I was also surrounding myself with a shitload of people who know more about it than me. There's a lot to know. So that's good. I would rather someone go, hey, look, I played it. I'm not really up on it now. But I tell you what I did do was I was schooled on it to make this
I wanted
film.
to find out more about it. I just didn't think I was the be all and end all about Mortal Kombat.
Exactly.
I actually went and found out like about proper fans, and that's what I would do if I was making a film about this. I'm not the biggest Mortal Kombat fan. I would want to find out everything to know, so I'd ask the experts because it's
better to have someone that owns it. I'd rather have that than someone go, oh yeah, no, I know everything, blah blah blah, and then it come out and you go, well, you clearly didn't.
Yeah,
though.
Especially being in the director's chair, like you think maybe like a power surge, I guess. You think you'd know everything about it. And this is it. This is what I say it is. But even he like basically acknowledged that he didn't like know much on Mortal Kombat. He acknowledged he played it, but obviously that doesn't make you a diehard fan of it. You need to go out and find out more about the character's backstory.
But also, you don't have to be a diehard fan to make a film about it. You know, you don't have to be a diehard fan. You can be, someone who appreciates it, and then because sometimes you can be blinded by your fandom on certain things, and you can sort of go a bit.
Sometimes you need to take it back a little bit.
Yeah. Again, Kano has been an entire villain, but again, displacing Johnny for Kano for the comedy makes me wonder how are we making this authentic when you've already broke the character. But there's nothing to say that Kano won't go and be a villain either. You're judging all that you've seen of Kano from basically only a few seconds. He has an entire story. I wouldn't jump the gun on that at all. I wouldn't jump the gun on that. Now, on balancing fan expectations with those who are familiar with Mortal Kombat. So once we'd studied and had gotten to understand all the characters, some themes and storylines are very universal. Good versus evil. The hierarchy of evil. The hierarchy of good relationships. It was really about taking the qualities and the properties from within the canon of the game that then became a sort of a universal theme for our storyline. There's an introduction to the movie that does set the table for the characters you're about to see. There were some very specific structural things within the story. A lot of the time, two things are going on at once. When I know a fan is going to love this moment, I also have to think, oh, it can't be too inside all the time. I want every character to have their introduction, something that embodies their spirit and where they come from. I think we've managed to straddle the two pretty well. So that's, I guess, like acknowledging the fact that you do need, you need other people to enjoy it as well. Like, it can't just be inside for just fans that are enjoying it all the time. So that's good. That's really, really good. And then they go on and say, on balancing screen time for both the actors and their characters. So we've tried our best to make the fights very innovative. We want to drive both the character and story forward within the fights. So it's good because a Mortal Kombat film or anything like that can really stutter each time you get into a fight because it's like, what's the purpose of the fight? Is there if it's just people fighting, where's the storyline for that? Like, where's the progression and stuff like that? The whole narrative just draws to a close. If you're not thought about it, it doesn't progress anything forward. So that's good that they're thinking about that. I like that a lot. It's a weird position to take when Kano didn't play that kind of role in the beginning. No, not really. No, I don't think it's a weird position to take at all, really. And again, there's nothing to say he's not a bad guy. You've only seen him on their side briefly. But there is also some other bits and pieces which you can see in the trailer, which looks like he changes sides quite drastically, actually. Like, it looks like he changes sides in the trailer if you sort of go frame by frame, which I did for 2 hours. So they talk about gallons of blood and stuff like that, but that's basically about it. So that's the Joe Blow one, which is pretty decent, not too bad. What is everyone's thoughts on that? Now we've covered one interview. We're not done the set visits yet. We're going to a set visit next. But what do you guys think? Does it change your perception? Because I want to cover this each and every time. Like you, Eddie, for starters. Yeah. Squeaky chair. What do you think of the? I need to WD-40 it. Oil my chair. What do you think? Has your perception of anything changed, or what? What's the deal now?
I don't think I was already looking forward to the film, but it sort of got me in that point now where I feel safe, a bit safe in terms it showed me that the filmmakers really cared about it. I mean, the word respect was thrown a lot in that article. And that's like a pretty big word to throw around, like respect to the characters, respect for the actors on set, respect for the lore material, and then even the director saying like he understood that he wasn't even like a massive like Mortal Kombat like nerd. He didn't know everything about it, and then he did his own research on it. And I like the thing that got me excited was the practical stuff. I didn't know as much like I didn't think they did as much practical as they did. So that was the interesting part that got me. I'm excited to see more practical effects in the film, and I'm excited to see all the practical stuff they designed, whether it's costumes or like set designs. I cannot wait for that. But yeah, I think it's a really good article laying the foundation for the filmmakers actually really caring about the source material, especially with what we come to know about video games and how it can go haywire. And definitely, you're treading a fine line when you're making a video game film because you can disappoint the core fan base really easily. And I think Warcraft film did that really well. Like, I think a lot of fans enjoyed that from what I remember. But obviously, the critics
Warcraft
destroyed it. I wasn't a Warcraft fan, but I thought
I think people hated it, didn't they?
I thought it had good.
I'm pretty sure people hated it.
Let me know in the comments about Warcraft because I don't know if the fans responded well to it. I know the critics didn't, but the critics never respond well to video games.
No, I think people hated that film. I'm pretty certain people hated it. I could be wrong, but I genuinely think. I mean, it was a shit film anyway, so.
Fair enough.
It was garbage. It was trash.
Oh, people hated Warcraft. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, people hate it. Yeah, I thought so.
There you go. Okay, then that's an example of them like. I guess, yeah, you're treading fine lines with a video game film, and hopefully with this one, we can finally see, I guess, a bit of a turn. We saw that with Sonic, I think, a bit of a turn with obviously the design was one example as well, with them obviously sacrificing the release of their movie to change the character, basically showing appreciation to the fans. And this one looks like they're doing the same thing. So hopefully it translates well in film.
Yeah. Orange Hat Reviews chimes in and says, honestly, I think Kano will go from chaotic neutral to them being chaotic evil in the span of this movie. And I am more hyped knowing they are serious and respectful. The quality is bound to be good. But yeah, sounds it. It genuinely does. The Emperor of Mankind, also member of the channel. If you want to become a member, please do. You do get benefits. Evening all hail me. Long live me. Or the Holy Emperor. Thank you so much.
He returns.
Seal Bob for $5. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. The actor who played Kano in the original movie pretended to be Australian. Neither realm loved his take, so Kano became Australian after that. Yeah, okay. I knew it was something related to someone who did, but also I think someone died recently as well. I swear someone died recently. Or was that person that died? Maybe. Yeah, lots of people hating Warcraft. Yeah, there you go. Lots of people
I take that back.
Take it back, dude. Take it back.
I remember enjoying it, but I never played the game as much as obviously the diehard fans would have. Like, are you guessing?
Yeah. So now, ladies and gents, we're going to go to a set visit. And this is where you can see that they absolutely nailed it on the sort of icing up of the gym. So this is a Sci-Fi Wire set visit, which we'll just zoom in a little bit here as well. Away. But just this image here, just this image alone, you can see practical set. They've done a lot of work dressing that as a set now. That is very involved, very, very involved. Crazy, like actually crazy. Love it. So they visited the set, and here we go. So the movie will follow the game's lore, apparently. So for the uninitiated, the broad strokes initial concept for Mortal Kombat is an Enter the Dragon-esque martial arts tournament in which competitors not only fight for their lives, but the lives of everyone in their universe, their realm. There are two warring clans. I'm going to butcher this. The Shirai Ryu and Lin Kuei, who battle for control over several realms, including Earth Realm, Otherworld, Chaos Realm, Nether Realm, and more. McQuaid and his team had their work cut out for them, extracting which storyline to use and which characters. There are close to 90 in the game to include, and the news story needed to capture audiences unfamiliar with the story, charm longtime fans, and introduce this universe to a new generation of potential superfans. One of the things we've been talking about all through the development is respect for the fans, and respect for the characters, and respect for the canon of the game, McQuaid says. I've been on this movie for six years. I did not know. I did not know it's been in development for 10 years. Jesus.
And they must have really struggled to get it off the ground.
Fuck me, that's development hell right there. Oh my lord. That is insane. That is legitimately insane. I did not realize it was 10 years.
Why would it take that long? You reckon it's just the studio wouldn't take up the film?
Yeah, they've obviously got the rights, and they didn't have to do anything with it. But they've been working on something for 10 years. Fuck me. That is that's crazy. That is wow. And yeah, loads of people just in the chat's like, yep, wow. Crazy. So anyway, they continue. It says, so we decided to make a classic movie that can set up the world for everybody and satisfy the fans' lust for the movie, which we obviously love, and be true to them. But then also, remember, they want to make sequels. So that's where their sort of setup comes into. You know, they're setting it up, but they want to explore it further down the line. Harley Quinn says, didn't this movie start off as a continuation of the Mortal Kombat Legacy web series? I don't know, actually. I can't remember. I mean, look, it's been in development for 10 years now, so my memory has come and gone. But maybe. God damn. So will there be a Scorpion origin story? We start off the movie in 15th century Japan, Bennett explains, where you have Joe Taslim and Hiroyuki Sonata in a fight, which is obvious, like we knew that was going to happen anyway. Taslim will be playing Binhan. I mean, that's not right. Whatever. Anyway, the first cryomancer to call himself Sub-Zero, who competed in the Mortal Kombat tournament, and to that, the multiple costumes and prosthetics we saw on set of Sonata's head and designs of a woman and child frozen in a block of ice. So they made practical stuff of that's epic. Practical things of people in frozen in blocks of ice. That is awesome. And that goes back to the first the first interview that we just covered now on Joe Blow, is that they really are like that's a major practical effects there. That's crazy. That's really cool. Eddie Ruffick USN Vet for $5 supporting the channel. Thanks so much. Says video game to movie adaptations have somewhat been difficult to translate. Mortal Kombat Annihilation back in either 97 or 98 proved that point. Yeah, I'll agree with you there. So what do you guys think now, hearing that people literally saw a woman and child frozen in a block of ice? Not literally, but a practical version of it. What do you think to that? And Ellie, what do you think to that?
There we go. More practical stuff. It's going to look better as well. And I guess even like animating a CGI block of ice when you're looking at CGI on screen, like your brain instantly thinks, or like for me anyway, your brain instantly clocks that that's not a real thing. But if it's a practical block of ice, you're like, oh crap, they're actually frozen. That looks real. That's like a tangible item there. There we go. I would have liked that to find that out as a surprise, but we obviously knew something happened to his family.
You can see it in the back of the trailer, mate. It's actually in the trailer.
Oh, they're in the ice?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's actually in the trailer. You can see it just as they pan round.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
So, yeah. And it's pretty safe to say that the franchise has taken us back to the origins of the game lore, in which Sub-Zero kills Sonata's family and his clan. Later, Sonata is resurrected as the pyromancer Scorpion, with revenge serving as his purpose for entering the tournament. And then here we go. So Cole Young, this is the character that everyone wants to shit on, and I get it. Cole Young was created for a new audience, right? Okay. So Lewis Tan, he was in Deadpool 2, was he? All right, never mind. So Lewis Tan's character Cole Young is new to the franchise, a down on his luck MMA fighter. His daughter is both his biggest fan and his trainer, as she is trying to get him back into fighting shape. Right, so he's got a daughter. What relevance is that? Cole sees the tournament as a place to redeem his former glory, but also has a mysterious birthmark that is an exact replica of the dragon-headed Mortal Kombat logo, which might mean he is related to an existing character in Mortal Kombat lore, which is what we think. Like that, it seems like he's related to Scorpion, basically.
Yeah, he has the flashbacks in this trailer, sort of the mirror-like, sort of like visions, I guess. Yeah.
Well, and then also Scorpion comes to him in the gym, doesn't he? And they sort of fight Sub-Zero there by the looks of it as well. We needed an access point for everybody to come into the story that would keep existing canons intact. Garner explained. That's the character Lewis is playing. He's the eyes of anyone who's ever... Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting then. So that's an interesting way of explaining it, to keep existing canons intact. Okay, I don't mind that as an explanation now. Yeah. Don't hate that. Because I mean, it's an interesting observation, is that if you include someone else as the point of view character, you do have to build a story around them, and if it doesn't fit the narrative of the film, then you've broken canon, haven't you? Really?
I guess it goes back to what I said at the start of the stream. Like, he's going to be that point of view for new audiences, and that's who's never played the game. There we go. But he's got a story around him with a down and out MMA fighter, and it makes sense as an MMA fighter to fit into the Mortal Kombat world. I'm guessing he's going to be introduced to it, like through Sonya Blade, I guess, when he meets her. She's going to introduce him to the world. He's going to learn stuff. So it makes sense that he's an MMA fighter. Obviously, if he was something else, then it wouldn't fit to the story. But they're trying to make it relatable as well.
Yeah. So then they go to martial arts business. If you love martial arts films, this is your movie. So one of the blessings of working with actors who can also perform fight choreography is the resulting epic fight scenes. We have scenes with over 200 beats of fight choreography in one shot.
That's awesome.
I can't.
Are they saying like
comprehend that?
Are they saying that in one take, not even a cutaway? They're just completely going at it.
Yeah, by the sounds of it, that's
awesome. I
can't even comprehend that. Like,
I can't wait to see how that's directed. Then, like, there's going to be this one take panning shot, moving along with the actors, no cutaways. They're just going to be hitting the crap out of each other. It's going to look fantastic, I reckon.
200 beats of fight choreography in one shot. That's fucking insane. That is, yeah, that's legitimately insane.
Someone said it's basically a wrestling match.
Tan has significant training in Muay Thai, kickboxing, but trained in several styles to pull off his character's MMA origins. It's great to work with artists that can do their own fights. I think the fans deserve and want that authenticity, Tan says. That's nice. Ludi Lin, Power Rangers Aquaman, who plays Liu Kang, also has extensive training in both Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. Max Huang, a member of Jackie Chan's stunt team, has wushu training that came in handy for his character, Kung Lao. Then, of course, there's Joe Taslim, who's known for his Indonesian style silat, fast punches. And the legendary Hiroyuki Sanada, who started his career as a Japanese action star and is the protege of Sonny Chiba. The first thing I said to Kyle, our stunt coordinator, was, you have to make the best fights that have ever been put on film, McQuaid said. Nice. I like that. That's not bad at all, then.
Not a bad precedent to go off.
Well, look, at the end of the day, like, a lot of people are going to go, oh, yeah, but they're probably not. No, they don't have to be. If they're aiming for that, it's like shoot for the moon. At least you're going to fall short on, land in the, among the stars, aren't you? It's that sort of, aim high, but you're going to, even if you fall short of it, you're still landing in a pretty bloody good place, to be honest. So many fatalities. Perhaps the most iconic feature of the Mortal Kombat, blah, 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 fatalities. So fans will be delighted to know that this concept is going to be a part of the film as well, which is primarily why the movie has an R rating. But McQuaid doesn't want you to think that the movie is plotless gore fest. There's a lot of blood, but I didn't want to get comedic when I wanted a serious moment, the director says. But I've seen drums of blood sitting around the set, he adds. So literally fucking barrels of blood. Love it. Absolutely love it. So there's a little bit of some they start talking about other characters basically, right? So all about Kitana and other characters we will see. So obviously a lot of they start talking about, well, they cover it all, but you've got to bear in mind is that they do want to make sequels. They want to make a lot more of these. So with so many characters to draw from, there's a lot of speculation about which Mortal Kombat fighters we'll see in the upcoming film. We may have gotten a few hints during our set visit. Although we only briefly spotted newcomer CC Stringer on set in a mask, dressed in Mileena's signature purple outfit. We also spotted a similar blue number when strolling through the costume department. So prop master Lisa Brennan also displayed a beautiful set of Kitana-style fans in the prop department. Although casting for the character has not been announced, it's safe to assume that Stringer would play Kitana as well, given that they're cloned twins. Now, you can see the fans in... Do I have an image? I did have an image. God damn, it's disappeared. You can actually see the fans in the background of one of the shots in Raiden's temple. You can see one anyway. But you wouldn't have an outfit otherwise, unless someone's going to wear it, would you?
Yeah, you wouldn't design it for a sequel.
Well, you wouldn't have it on set.
Yeah,
is my point.
If it's on set, that means they probably used it.
Sounds like, yeah, well, it sounds like it to me. Now, it says another Easter egg we spotted in the prop department were Cabal's twin blades. We've seen that. That's actually in the trailer. And the special effects department revealed a specially rigged tongue that can whip out and wrap around a body, hinting at Reptile's appearance as well. So we've seen that. Some of this would have been written up before the trailer was released, by the way, guys. We've seen Reptile anyway, so that's fine. But interesting that they're doing the whole tongue thing. That's cool. Here we go. So Mileena definitely has more bite. So speaking of Stringer, some fans weren't impressed with Mileena's face reveal in the trailer. Her game counterpart features a signature Tarkatan mouth with large razor-like teeth, much like her fellow Tarkatan Baraka. Makeup and special effects artist Larry Van Duynhoven assured us that Mileena's teeth would be a combo of practical and CG effects. The finished look will have her mouth sort of disengage in the way that it does in the game. Sick.
Awesome.
Absolutely sick. Love it. The moment I see either Reptile, Cyrax, Sector, and Smoke, I think my mind would probably explode. Reptile's in the trailer, man. But thank you so much, dude. It is kind of a blink and you'll miss it moment in the trailer, to be fair. Finbar White, even Mr. H and Ellie, hope you're both well. Do you think that this will be the start of a trilogy of films? So looking forward to it. Just hope they don't release too many trailers and spoil the film. Well, it's not like GVK, is it? They've done well. They've done well there. They've not done any of that crap, so that's good.
And GVK,
happy with that. God damn.
Another minute TV spot yesterday.
Well,
a 1 minute TV spot.
I'm good. I've not watched it.
Remember, I said something about a certain character? Yeah, they were close to it.
Yeah, don't say anything. Yeah. It's good. Yeah. Would you want a trilogy of these? I did. Like, it's whether they're good, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah, it all depends on this film. I mean, definitely the hype is there. Isn't it like one of the most R-rated viewed trailers on YouTube?
Yes.
Like
no, of all time. It's a record
time. There we go. Like the hype is definitely there. I think normal audiences will go see it as well. It's coming out on streaming as well, I guess. So I think people will purchase it regardless of the rating if you're watching it from home, because I guess like if you're a younger person, you can just use your dad's credit card, I guess, or dad's account. So I'm guessing
Are
younger
you
people
advocating theft right now?
No.
Ellie.
Well, like watch the film if you wanted to see. But like, obviously, going to the theater, I'm like, even I can't take my younger, like, for instance, cousin who's 16, because even though I'm over 18, they won't let you in Australia because the film's 18. Everyone in the theater has to be over 18, no matter what.
Yeah.
But that's theater. But I guess because it's coming out on streaming as well, that probably could work to the benefit, as a lot of like maybe 15 to 16-year-olds that wouldn't be able to see it in theater will purchase it. So like that could be definitely advantageous as well, because like think about it, a lot of 15 to 16-year-olds maybe that are not fond of the game might have seen the trailer and be like, oh, blood, gore, and they just like, it's a fair point, and they'll probably go out and buy it. So it makes a fair point. Oh, I can't see it in the theater, I'll just watch it at home.
True. So while on set, we were able to see designs for Mileena's crocodile-like maw. So we're going to assume that Stringer's knife-licking move in the trailer is either before her full transformation or an unfinished CGI shot. Producer Todd Garner also confirmed Mileena's look on Twitter. Here we go, Johnny Cage. It's pretty vague, and I think they're just talking bollocks, by the way. So one of the biggest questions fans have had about Mortal Kombat is whether or not Johnny Cage, one of the original characters of the ostensible main character and the ostensibly main character of the 1995 adaptation, is in this movie. Sadly, there's no evidence of the character anywhere during the set visit. However, Garner teased, I definitely will not say that there is no Johnny Cage in this movie when pressed on the subject. And I promise you that Johnny Cage lives in the Mortal Kombat universe. So I think that's just tease. I think there might be a tease for Johnny Cage for a sequel. I think that's what they're alluding to here. So there you go. I mean, that's another article down. Each time, has it built more hype for me? Yeah. I mean, there's more reveals there. You've got Mileena's mouth being CGI and practical. Sounds epic. Lots of blood, barrels of blood. I think it all sounds really, really good. There's more that has sort of been revealed here that has made me happier. What about you?
I'm happy,
Ellie,
as well. They didn't, like, obviously they've reassured that Mileena is sort of like, because a lot of people would have jumped the gun from the trailer and complained. Obviously, they didn't see it in its full glory. But I'm glad they didn't show it. Just wait to the film as well. You don't have to spoil everything and show everything. But again, similar to like the first article, where the article, I'm happy, like, they talked about the practical effects. Again, with this one as well, with the ice cubes, like, really excited as well. But again, that word respect was thrown around with the quote. But again, like, it doesn't stop my hype for the film. It doesn't, like, I was already hyped for the film as it is. But this article with the set visits, again, it just shows they're putting a lot of effort into it. But they're obviously going to they're obviously going to put down like what we want to hear. But obviously, I'm already hyped for the film. So this article, I think the first one I really enjoyed better than this one, but this one as well was great as well. Like, explaining.
I think there's some pretty damn good reveals here.
There's barrels of blood.
Yeah. Orange Hat Review says they mention him in the film to tease his being in another film. Someone picks up that phone because I freaking called it. Well, we'll see. We will see. I mean, it seems obvious that that's probably what they're going to do, but we'll see how it goes. Ricardo Hernandez Vega says, I believe the main character here, this new character, is going to become Johnny Cage as his artistic name when he comes from the combat. Sorry if I'm spoiling it. I may be wrong. Yeah, true. Like, he could call himself Johnny Cage. True. Could be his MMA fighter name. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. Ladies and gents, we've got 343 people in the chat. Smash the thumbs up button if you want me to answer a question real quick, or you want to support the channel. Use the super chat function, please. So we've now got, and I hate bringing up these. I hate this website, but it's a Kotaku.
We got this covered. Is it?
Nah, I wouldn't fucking talk about them. They're a bunch of shit. It's Kotaku. Who are shit. No one likes Kotaku. They're terrible. But let's dive into it, right? Because again, they've got some interesting information here. And again, yeah, it's interesting. So Simon McQuaid, the movie's director, has a longer background with video games than you might think. Back in his Australian advertising days, McQuaid directed the enemy weapons ad for Halo 3, which won a Cannes Lions Award in 2008, and the 2 Michael commercial for PlayStation 3. So the director is actually not, actually completely unknown in the world of sort of video game adaptations, I guess. Now, so they start talking about Australia and things like that, and that there are some reveals there about how locations were used and utilized and things like that. So get hyped, Dilly. This is Australia's time to shine.
Well, baby. No, I know they filmed in South Australia, which is
we were a little bit stuck, and then South Australia reached out to us and Simon McQuaid, and they came here and thought, there's a lot here, we should do it here. And also them sweet tax breaks, because that's definitely what they got from doing this as well. It's informed a lot of the script based on the locations that we found here, he said. The quarries, because that's what you told me, is that there's the shot of them looking over the sort of black sands and stuff like that.
Yeah, the coal mine though.
And that's the real place. That looks amazing.
Yeah, we got decent places.
Incredible.
Locations. Remember, like you always said, like for instance, with your Predator film set in the outback Australia. Like there you go. That's one of the examples. Like that's just South Australia as well. Like always about.
And the Coober Pedy, and the pine forest. What's that? Ellie,
No. I'm just Coober Pedy. I'm not too sure about it. I'm not too overly fond of South Australia. I've been to the main city, Adelaide, once for a grand final for the soccer, but no, I don't know many of the outback places. But I'm guessing the pine forest is where they filmed the opening with Raiden coming in as well with the scorpion fight. I'm guessing that's probably the pine forest, because it doesn't look like it.
True, yeah, it could be.
Because I remember they announced it on the news as well here in Australia. It was like, oh, Hollywood is moving to Australia. Like they make a big deal out of it always. So
I've got to make everyone feel welcome. That's it. You're being called out by Vassy.
No.
Ellie is racist to South Australia. That's it. Ellie, ridiculous, mate. Get off. Be gone. Right, so it's really lended itself to being able to give this movie a lot of different looks, which is great. I mean, I haven't shot in Sydney, so I don't know how the look would have changed, but we are very fortunate to get everything that we need. According to McQuaid, South Australia also provided some physical benefits that people might not have initially realized. We've been all over South Australia, so there's a lot of pretty amazing locations. We started in the valley, and so this is not Simon McQuaid. This is the article writer Kotaku. Raiden's temple exterior. When they travel through Mongolia and get shots of the breakaways, it's everywhere. But all the dirt in the temple is just truckloads from South Australia's Coober Pedy. I guess that's must be like a mine or something like that. We brought in like 4-ton trucks of dirt. So that's actual Coober Pedy in there. Does someone else know what the hell this is? Seriously. I've got no idea what that is.
It's a town in South Australia.
Oh, have you Googled it, have you?
Yeah, in my Google search.
Excellent.
And it's like, oh, it looks like oh wow.
What?
Interesting. If you just Google Coober Pedy on Google, it just like looks really interesting, this town.
Well, that's what they're going to say here, actually, is they say Mortal Kombat actually has a lot more of Coober Pedy in it than dirt. The town, which is better known for opal mining, is also home to a very particular type of rock. Namon Marshall, a production designer on the film, explained how much of the debris was sourced from the town instead of being built in styrofoam. That's pretty bloody cool. The fight pit took red sand, so we brought that in. And then we brought all the debris from Coober Pedy. It's a very specific rock, and it's real crumbly, and it's a lot lighter than you imagine. So that's cool. Obviously using it there. There's caves in the film. And in the movie, Raiden's temple is built within a cave that has a series of tunnels within. The interior was shot in Vietnam's Phong Nha. But Coober Pedy provided a perfect shot for the outside. So the state's pine forest reserves also appeared briefly in the official trailer. So that will be That'll be the opener. That'll be the
Yeah,
Raiden coming down in the sort of feudal Japan, I guess. And Mortal Kombat's Outworld was shot in a coal mine in South Australia's Lee Creek. It's going to blow your mind when you see that. It's probably my favorite stuff. It's unbelievable. Shang Tsung and his guards in the bottom of a coal pit. It doesn't get much better than that. Epic. And here, like, great shot here. Really, really good shot. For me, it's all there. It's all on camera, and the visual effects just add into that world rather than doing the heavy lifting. It's not like I'm in a parking lot with green screens. South Australia really provided not only some brilliant local filmmakers in various departments, and some discoveries of people have just been astounding. So that's cool. And then they just go on to detail like some other crap that's not really relevant. This stuff wasn't really relevant if I remember rightly. There's sort of multiple audiences to this, and I want to really do justice for the fans so that they feel like their characters are being respected. They have invested a lot of time and love into this film and these characters, and I think bringing them to life in a way that makes them feel for the first time human, even though some of them aren't human. That's nice. Apparently, it's also partially why the movie won't focus on Johnny Cage or Liu Kang as a central character, as the earlier films and so many of the video games have done. Cole Young provides a blank slate that means the creators have a little more agency, not just over how iconic characters are introduced, but easier onboarding for those completely unfamiliar with Mortal Kombat. So that's the same kind of stuff as earlier, really. There's not an awful lot else in this article, to be fair. I'll read an idiotic comment. Why am I afraid of the critical? Oh, I'm not. I've been on some streams with them. What the fuck you on about? Please don't spread shit, because you just sound like a twat. Always fucks me off when people do this, because you've only got to have one pleb in the conversation that says one thing. It just fucking creates a massive issue. I've been on streams with him. Shut the fuck up. And besides, that clues in the name. He's drunk. Why would I be afraid of a drunk? I'll bitch slap him. No, that's clearly a joke. Fuck me. Yeah, there's not much else in here, to be fair. They talk about CGI being improved leaps and bounds too, making the kinds of fatalities Mortal Kombat is known for vastly more possible in the context of a film. So, but that's not something that they've seen, FYI. That's just, an interview. So they say, I think as far as the gore and the blood level is concerned, that's really about the tonality of how we show it. There's scenes when there's a shitload of blood, so we're not shying away from it. Well, clearly, if they're talking about like barrels of it. Yeah, but I also I think even these behind the scenes shots, this is what I really enjoy the most. That's awesome. I mean, I'd imagine this is in a quarry, to be fair. So good. Yeah, it's really it looks good. It could be pie on my face and it could be complete trash. I get that. But it still looks pretty decent to me.
No, it looks all great.
Decent.
Seems like they filmed as well all over the place. They went to Vietnam as well, for the interior, and then the exterior was South Australia.
Yeah.
So they're using a lot of locations. Clearly they did their scouting work.
Well, yeah. Yeah. This is interesting. What was this? Coober Pedy was where Pitch Black was filmed. Christ. Really?
It does look like that area, actually. If you look at the images, it does. Oh.
Wow.
I do enjoy the Riddick films. I don't mind them, actually, as well.
Bruh.
You don't enjoy them? You don't enjoy them?
Yeah, I have fond memories of Pitch Black, but I rewatched it. Don't rewatch it if you got.
I'm not going to rewatch it then.
It fucking does.
I quite enjoyed Riddick, the third one. Is it? It's just titled Riddick. I don't know if there was the fourth.
I think that was that one. Yeah, that wasn't that the one where he's just on a planet with a dog.
Yeah, just him alone.
Yeah,
it's just I like that one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. If Pitch Black doesn't hold up, then I'm not going to go back.
What was this? What? Alexander the Great. You killed me with your response to that Muppet. Thanks. And nice Lexus. I do like a Lexus. Pitch Black was a great film. So the clue in there is was.
What?
If you've got good memories of it, like I did, you're gonna hate yourself if you rewatch it. I'm telling you now. Sad, but very true. There is a scene where like the woman gets like eaten in half and sort of carried away. Fucking doesn't hold up. It's laughable. Like it's funny. You look back on like you look at it and you go, oh yeah, great. It was absolutely epic, and it was epic for the time. But you watch it back now, I don't know what it is. Just laugh at it. It's not that good anymore. It's a shame. Like I loved it when it came out, but yeah, not good. Not good. So anyway, there is Kotaku. Not a whole lot of reveals there, to be fair, but still some. You know, still some. But I do have one little article for you all, ladies and gents. And I want everyone to remember when I was doing my stream before. When I was doing my stream, my epic 2-hour stream, and I talked about that weapon. I was like, I'll bet you that's a gardening tool, isn't it? It's a fucking gardening tool. I was right.
Gardening
tool. I was right. I was right, ladies and gents. I was right. So Mortal Kombat director explains the origins of Scorpion's iconic weapon. I can't believe I was right. People went mentally in the chat. They're like, no, what are you talking about, you idiot? It's clearly a spear. What are you on about? Nah, mate. I was right.
I was right.
I was. So in an interview with IGN, McQuaid dissected some key elements from the trailer, detailing how Hanzo Hasai, I'm butchering these names. Hanzo will become his warrior persona Scorpion, as well as the history of his famous spear weapon, a retractable kunai. We did a bit of research into what a kunai actually is, and it was originally, not exclusively, but it was often used as a gardening tool. So when it's in the ground, and I said he's picked up because I bet his wife was using it for the ground, for the garden. I'm fucking right.
He's right.
I was right, ladies and gents.
He's right.
I was right.
This is Mr. H's grace.
I got loads of crap in the chat for that. People are like, what are you on about? You're a dick. It's like, it looks like a gardening tool.
Mr. H's Grace Randolph moment. I told you so, and I'm right.
This is only good fun. I'm genuinely like, I think that is cool though. Mainly to me because I think of like the background of it. I'm like, well, clearly, like he comes home, everyone's dead, and then he realizes what his wife was doing. Like it adds that to me. It adds that more. There's just like more conviction behind it, things like that. Much more conviction behind it, you know, like, oh, his wife was doing this, so he picks it up and then goes off and does it, and you know, it's the last thing she was using. Or something. I don't fucking know, like murdering.
Nice little touch.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna murder people as well.
Yeah, I like it. It's cool. So yeah, so it was often used as a garden tool. Blah blah blah. The director explained how the weapon was created in a deadly moment of improvisation, saying, that's why Scorpion has a kunai on the end of that rope, because that's all he has at the time. You'll see how he sort of adapts and turns that rope and that guarding tool into a pretty lethal weapon that really does the job. Yes. Yes. Love it. I don't think there's much else in this, to be fair. They talk a little bit about... is it Scorpion and Scorpion's evolution. It's really about seeing Scorpion's evolution on the screen and the ingredients, both emotional and physical, as to why he becomes Scorpion. And so that is explained across the opening of our film, and it's a pretty brutal, nasty fight. So that's what, like, we saw the majority of that in the trailer anyway, to be fair. So Sub-Zero and Scorpion, I wanted it to feel real, and I wanted to feel very elemental, not silly or too shiny. It's always got to have some mongrel about it, so it feels completely real and believable, sort of visceral nature, I guess. And then that was it for that one. I just really liked that because I was right, basically. Gardening tool. bloody gardening tool.
That's what we found out from that article.
That's it.
The gardening tool.
Gardening tool. I was super bloody pleased with that. I think that's really cool. What is the chat saying? Say finish him in Emperor Palpatine's voice. I'm not doing that. Not at all. No way. It's like rewatching reruns of old TV shows, Airwolf 18, TJ Hooker, etc. Fond memories, but rewatching them now just destroys the illusions we had that they were good. Alas, not anymore. Yeah, that's the same with Pitch Black. That's the same with Pitch Black. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself, ladies and gents. Or if anyone has done it and has watched it recently, let me know what you thought. Because goddamn, I did not like him. And that's a film I really liked.
Grin Akuma's comment. I can't stop laughing.
What?
Tell Mr. H to stop wanking on all the gardening tools.
Well, that's not that funny, to be honest, but all right.
Look at this. He's just dead shit face. It just came out
I
of
don't see
nowhere.
it anyway, so.
Oh.
Where is it? At what time?
9:22.
Yeah, it's not that funny. But all right.
Everyone's saying do it for
no. Fuck off. So now we've got a Collider. Zoomed in there on that one. We've got a Collider article which has more set visits, but they just list them down pretty quickly. Just 27 things that they learned from the set visits. So not that different really, but having it kind of listed down is pretty quick. So it's more than just a tournament movie. We knew that anyway, to be fair. This part, cast is representative, is not what you think it is. I don't think it is. I think they're more saying, hey, look, it is the ethnicity of the characters. It's what it's supposed to be. Don't worry.
It's not the representative you think it means. It's just like
now they say the villains are complicated.
Here we go.
And they even have a mention of Kano under the villains are complicated, which is good because a lot of people were concerned that Kano wouldn't be a villain, which I said, calm down, just wait. So Taslim is playing Sub-Zero, who is indeed a villain, but don't expect his portrayal of the freeze-inducing warrior to involve mustache twirling, maniacal cackling, or any other stereotypical villain trappings. No one would. Not from Taslim, anyway. So apparently he's playing Sub-Zero with a layer of consciousness, a self-awareness toward his status as a vicious Lin Q assassin. And active wondering if this is the life he chose or rather the life that chose him. Interesting. Taslim also spoke about the small part of every villain's psyche that's considering good and how rewarding and challenging that balance was to play. So that's a new layer, isn't it? That's a new layer. As for Kano, that rough and tumble Aussie assassin with a red eye, prosthetic, and penchant for eating hearts, Lawson did make sure his portrayal pushed boundaries and gave the fans the kind of rabble-rousing chaos they expect. But he also spoke about the psychology of Kano in elevated terms, describing the inherent appeal of a character like him as being given permission to say and do things we can't in civil society. So, apparently he's self-serving and greedy and opportunistic. So I'd say, it sounds like he's going to go and be evil. I
guess chop and change depending on what benefits him, I'm guessing.
By the sound of it. It does seem that way. So I think he will end up being evil come the end of the movie. We might see a different but familiar version of Sub-Zero. So I spoke about this. It's talking about Noob Saibot, which a lot of people have said that they see it in the trailer, but I don't see it. I don't see him in the trailer. I can see how it could potentially look like it, but I don't think so. And it's not that in depth. What he's saying, it sounds like he's joking. So he says it's not a secret that Quan Chi took the humanity inside of Bai Han and turned him into Noob Saibot. this is just Taslim explaining about the character. And then he just goes off and says, well, you know, he you know, well, that's it basically. Like, it's not in a conflict, humanity in pitch black is a key part of the character he plays, and blah blah blah, and then ends with a cheeky, so that's it, before he out and out says he's Noob Saibot. Like, he's not, well, he might be, but it sounds like he's kidding around saying that he's Noob Saibot. Or maybe it's the setup, maybe he's been pitched the sequel, I guess. Yeah. We've known about this, the best fight scenes ever on film. No point doing that. What was the other big reveals? Raiden won't be the typical god of thunder. So this one I found somewhat interesting. Raiden, the Earth realm protecting god of thunder and mentor to our heroes, may be stronger than Hogun, Asano's character in Thor Ragnarok, but that doesn't mean he's a typically stoic font of wisdom, as he's often depicted in other Mortal Kombat. Asano found a sense of childishness in his performance as Raiden, describing that he is peaceful, but also fundamentally hurt. Asano also described how he first felt that Raiden was very still, but then after filming one pivotal scene, realizing that he's full of churning emotional complexities and even love for the Earth dwellers he fights for. So that's quite good. Like, some sort of layers there, anyway.
Yeah, they're trying to add layers to each of the character. They're not just going to introduce a game character for the sake of being a game character. They're trying to add layers to the story, I guess, for each character. Which,
and then this is the thing that everyone will be happy about. Like, this is, take it with a pinch of salt, because it says there's comedy but not cheesiness. Like, that's a fine line, isn't it? Yeah, exactly.
Like the birthmark line is like, oh.
Well, but I think that is an actual joke. Yeah. Like, I think that's them saying, well, yeah, duh. Like, of course that's what it is. Like, what's a birthmark? Well, he was born with it. Like, it's supposed to be dumb.
Is that his trainer that says it? I'm guessing his sister?
Yeah, his daughter. Or sister,
his daughter.
Yeah. So that makes more sense now. We know that that's his daughter. If they'd revealed something like that in the bloody trailer, it would have made a bit more sense.
Yeah, it would have helped.
Eddie Rofik USM Vet says, was Noob Saibot Sub-Zero's brother? So there could be more Sub-Zeros within the movie. I think that they're going to be setting it up for future. I don't think we're going to see more Sub-Zeros. Isn't
Noob Saibot from the Nether Realm?
Hey?
Correct me. Isn't he from the Nether Realm? Or like he's from a different realm? Like, you know how there's like the Earth realm.
They're all from different realms.
Yeah, but is Noob Saibot specifically from the Nether Realm? And is he? I think he is Sub-Zero's brother, aren't they? Or are they the same? Someone said they're the same person.
Noob Saibot is Sub-Zero. Right. I think. By hand becomes Noob Saibot after he's killed. So, Noob Saibot is the OG Sub-Zero rebranded.
Noob Saibot equals Sub-Zero resurrected by the sorcerer Quan Chi.
Oh, yeah, Noob Saibot was Sub-Zero's brother, and then the original. God damn, it's complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, because some guys like Noob Saibot equals Sub-Zero resurrected by the sorcerer Quan Chi, but then there's some people that are saying was Sub-Zero's brother.
Yeah, well, you threw me out there because I'm like, what? No, is it? No, is it? Yes, no. Yeah, so I think that they set it up in the trailer a bit. Sub-Zero came from a smoke cloud. Yeah, but even some people are saying that that's smoke. So there's so many thoughts and theories about it. But anyway, good to hear that it's comedy and not cheesiness. But again, that's massively subjective, to be fair. We know all about this crap. Not covering it again. Literally no point. No point doing this.
Yeah, there's a bit of overlapping with the articles.
Oh, massively. Yeah. Like, set visits are always the same. But
yeah.
It's just whether you get any little bit more snippets and things like that. Yeah, I love this. This frame's great, though. Just the blood freezing it to then go and stab him with. Love that. The film is epic in scope, which we do know about anyway. So that's good to see. Good to see that they're making it larger in scope than what most would have thought. And I think that's the thing. Most people have watched it and gone, oh, yeah, this is better than I thought it was going to be. Blood, blah, blah. That we'll all have to wait and see more in the sequel. And while a sequel certainly hasn't been greenlit, everyone involved wants one to happen. And Garner even hinted at sequels being produced in an MCU-like fashion with different tones. Garner said future Mortal Kombat films could have a more campy, fantastical bend in the same way that we needed an Iron Man to get to a Guardians of the Galaxy. And Garner even stoked the fires of making a Johnny Cage-centric standalone film, saying that he promises Johnny Cage lives in the Mortal Kombat universe and has heard fan feedback on the popular character loud and clear. So they do want to make sequels, that we know that for sure. The timeline is unrelated to the video game timeline, so it's not going to be picking up anywhere. They're just taking elements of that story and making a new story with it, which I think is fine. I don't think, like, it would be weird for a film to follow the timeline and then for a game to follow a film timeline, I think, to be fair.
I think it's creating their own new thing. But,
well, yeah, but like that would be hard to do. The film following game timeline, and then a subsequent game following the film timeline, and then thus moving forward.
The
like
film
that.
has to follow on off that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just too much. And that's it, really. Not that much else to go into. That was quite literally it. There wasn't anything else that I saw that I wanted to cover. I just wanted to make it one kind of big video, I guess. Big sort of live stream discussion. Does it make you more amped for it, Ellie?
Oh, I was actually already amped for it when before the trailer. I'm gonna be straight up honest. Like, I saw there was a Mortal Kombat movie in the works. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But I didn't expect the trailer.
Like,
yeah, I didn't expect. I don't think the trailer surprised a lot of people, and even in your reaction video, like it surprised a lot of people. And I'm actually really looking forward to it. And the thing that's got me amped up to look forward to it now even more is the fight choreography. That's what I'm really interested in seeing. Like a one take 200 beat one shot. They said. I was just like, I cannot wait to see that, and especially with the actors they've got on board to do the fight choreography.
Well, you can believe that they could do it, don't you?
Jota Slim as well. Yeah. Like, I'm really excited to see him because I know what he's capable of. And especially they said that all the actors did their own stunts. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most now from these articles, is that the fight choreography and how it's going to be. So that, it's got me amped for that. Because they've laid the foundation for some really great fight work. So hopefully it lives up to it.
Oh, God. But the thing about those fights is that, like, you look at them and you go, well, they look great, but there's clearly more to it as well. So it's not like, I use it as an example. It's not like Godzilla versus Kong, where you look at the fights in the trailers and you go, oh, well, there's like a lot of that is the fight. Like a lot of that is beat for beat, like some of the money shots of the fight. Whereas in this, you can tell that there's clearly a lot more to it than what they've shown in the trailer.
There's 13 to 16 fights as well. Like they've hardly showed any of it in the trailers. Like, the trailer.
Well, that's the thing. Will we get another one? Will we get another trailer?
I think we'll get one more. When's it coming out? April 16?
I think so. Yeah, next month. That'd be crazy. The Dark Apex says Baihan was the original Sub-Zero. When he died, came back as Noob Saibot. His brother, Q Liang, I believe, took the mantle of Sub-Zero. Right. Okay. Confusing. Confusing, but good. So that's about it, ladies and gents, to be honest. That was all I wanted to cover, really. There's not much else to go into, to be fair. Bit of a chilled Friday stream today. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 9 p.m. GMT. I'm trying to work out whether these need to be moved at all time-wise. I don't think so. I think these are all right. But follow me over on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. H Reviews. Ellie, where can people find you? You're muted.
Yeah, because I keep muting because of the birds. There's loud stuff here, so I don't want to interrupt you. Now, I am on Twitter and Instagram at EllieMoses14, and on YouTube, I'm just Ellie Moses. So you can find me over there. I try and do original content and different takes and unique takes on films, such as building Lego and original concept ideas. So
good.
If you guys enjoy the content, follow. If not, it's all good.
Yes. But thank you all so much for joining, ladies and gents. quick-ish stream, I guess. Normally these go on for
Oh.
about 2 hours, but not much else to really dive into, to be perfectly honest. And the chat, you need to interact a little bit more. The chat's been a bit subdued for a change. Get on it a bit more, ladies and gents. Get on it a little bit more. But anyway, thank you all so much. Go and have some beers if you can. If not, I'm not encouraging alcohol to minors. Cheers.